How are you, Bern?
I'm good. I'm real good.
Oh,
How are
man.
you?
I'm all right. It's a bit of a bittersweet weekend. Although Mortal Kombat did come out this weekend, so we're going to talk about
Yeah,
that,
I
which we
did.
got to go see in the theaters.
It was awesome.
Jazz hands. But the main topic of this episode is a spoiler-filled session of the season finale of the Falcon Winter Soldier, which it's hard to believe that it's finally. I mean, not really. It was only 6 episodes, but it's like
But
it
it's
was.
crazy. 6 weeks just went by.
Yeah, seriously. Like we're almost into May, and this year, 2021 is already going by way too fast. Like we haven't had time to soak up 2020 yet, but like to try and catch up. Anyways, what were your thoughts on the last episode of this season? Well, like how'd you feel about the finale?
I really enjoyed the finale. Not my favorite episode. I think the best episodes this season were episodes 4 and 5, and this one I would put just below those two because of just some issues that I did have, which aren't necessarily issues that I would pin only on this episode. It's the whole season, mainly with the Flag Smashers and then stuff that's gone on with Sharon. But I think they wrapped up the storyline for Bucky and Sam so well.
Oh yeah,
So well.
I won't disagree with you on that. They, as much as I've been bashing on the writing on the villains and stuff this season, it really isn't about them. It's about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like Sam and Bucky and their journey into finding themselves and who they are, not only just internally, but outwardly, as just because they're trying to figure out, am I still the Winter Soldier? Should I be Captain America? What have you. So that was really good. This episode, yeah, it felt a little flat for me, to be honest, just because I really can't figure it out. And I know that's the worst answer I could give, but there's just something about this that just did not sit well with me. Maybe I think it was the way they try to tie up everything, just because, spoiler alert, they are making the Captain America 4, but it's going to be Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which I thought was pretty awesome that they finished off with that. Just the last thing, it's kind of almost like every time a Marvel movie comes, like the Guardians of the Galaxy will return, or the Avengers will be back for Avengers like Infinity War, something like that. I think that's always really cool when they do that. So that was a nice little touch to this one. But yeah, no, I do agree. Episode 5 is still my favorite, and I think I was expecting to ride that high into this one, but it just didn't work for me. So, like I said, I'm gonna give this one a solid 3 out of 5 as a season finale. Like,
I'll probably give it a 3 out of 5 also.
Yeah, I mean, I still loved it. I still love this season.
The series as a whole was great.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed this. It's definitely a great thing if you love the MCU, Captain America, all that good stuff. Bern, let's switch it up tonight. How do we want to talk about this? Do we want to talk about our favorite scenes first, or do we want to talk about the stuff we didn't like first? What are you feeling? Dessert or veggies first?
Let's get the bad stuff out of the way so we can just praise the show for the rest of the episode.
It's funny I asked that, but I was rewatching Iron Man 2, just random thought, and it's kind of weird that Justin Hammer likes his dessert first. Like, what if you're eating ice cream sundae, but then what if you're eating like a super meaty steak right after? Like, it's not the best combination. Like, that's so weird. I can't do the dessert first. But anyway,
I mean, he was a weird character. So
he was a weird character. Yeah,
great though. Great. Sam Rockwell did a great job.
But okay, I guess the one thing I didn't like was Sharon. It's just like
Sharon.
It's like, but what about Sharon? Just Sharon. It's like, okay, but yeah, no, just how. I guess the thing that bothered me is that no one suspected her of any sort of wrongdoing throughout this whole season. Like Sam and Bucky, I guess, were just so caught up with themselves and whatnot, they just didn't suspect her of anything. Like, it just bothered me. And then she showed up and just was just a monster. She murdered this one dude. I mean, given he was a Flag Smasher, but just vaporized him essentially in his van, just melted.
Oh yeah, like acid gas or whatever that was.
Yeah, mercury vapor. Like, what the fuck is that? That sounds horrifying. And then when she runs into Carly, just because Carly's trying to kidnap the GRC, hold them hostage, aka assassinate them,
Mhm.
just because she's gone full suicide bomber here. She doesn't care. The movement will survive on without her. That was what she kept telling herself and her cohorts, who were like,
Yeah.
"Wait,
And,
what? We're gonna
and,
die?"
and I like how some of them were like, but they never like, stood up to her. They just
They
let it.
never thought about that. It's like
It was like, it reminded me of the Lord Farquaad thing. Like, some of you will die, but that's a
that's
sacrifice I'm
I'm
willing
willing
to
to
make.
make. Yeah. And the knights are even looking at them like, what are we here for, kind of thing. But so that was just a little insane. And I don't know. I just didn't care about that. And Cap's suit, I've been waiting for this suit ever since, the last episode. Like, oh my God, I want to see how it's going to look. And that kind of let me down too a little. It just didn't look
Oh, it
that
did.
a little bit. Like I give him props for basically ripping the comic book out onto that. That was
Yeah.
awesome. And seeing it in action was great, but just that first reveal where he busts through a window, it just looked a little like loose on him. It didn't look properly fitted to him, unlike his
Okay.
Falcon suit. Like his Falcon suit, I thought made him look buff. It fits him. It's great. It looks like a real like suit, like a flight suit almost. And this one just looked a little pajama-ish. And
Uh-huh.
I mean,
So
I'm
so you
sure. Well,
you
no,
wouldn't say it was like the design. It was just the way it like it was tailored to him, you
I
mean?
think the tailoring is really what irked me.
Okay.
And maybe the white was a little too white, but given he is Captain America, he is supposed to be red, white, and blue. I was hoping for maybe like a grayish color. So it's almost
Mm.
like the stealth suit. I kind of was hoping to be like the stealth suit ish, those kind of tones, like the navy with the red and the white. But either way, it
Hmm.
still worked for me. I can't wait. If and let's just say this: if Hot Toys drops it, I'm gonna get
Oh man, that's a given. I really like the design of the suit. Yeah, I think I do agree with you that it did fit him a little weird in some parts, but I think that's probably because it was like an action, suit. It was a little looser so he could move around and do the fight scenes and stuff. But yeah, the shots were like he was flying and like throwing the shield, like the first shot we see of him where he tosses the shield through the window at the guy with the wings. That looks so dope. And then there's other scenes of like him flying and taking on the helicopters. And then when he like uses the wings and the shield to like
it.
deflect that down
Yeah, that was
helicopter,
sick. I
that
really
was
like
dope.
that. Just
Yeah,
like almost kind of it kind of reminded me like Wonder Woman a little bit, just boom, and then just the plane crashes. It's like, dude, it's vibranium. I really
yeah.
like that. I did like that about it though. Before we, no, not trying to jump into the good section stuff now, but I did like the fact that the suit came from Wakanda. That was a nice little extra detail, because I don't know where his suit came from in the comics. I haven't really read
I
that.
think it was just a regular suit. I don't think there was any like real big backstory behind it. Again, I haven't really read those comics. I do want to read them now for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely down for. I've been down for Cap for Samus Cap, just because his suit is so cool as Captain America. Like it's definitely it's a good mix of like an American Eagle kind of thing. But
Hmm.
um
But yeah, to jump off your negatives, they're basically the same as mine. Sharon, her story just kind of, I don't know, it just like kind of came about in like a weird way because now she's the power broker, but
yeah, that was like what the fuck? Like we're
and
just there's a power broker going on.
yeah, and I know people on the internet like kind of immediately when she was introduced to the show, they were like, "Oh, she's the power broker," but I was on the camp of like, if she is, it really doesn't kind of make sense because of the way Zemo refers to the power broker as if the power broker had been active, years and years before. And then also, if she was a power broker and Nagel, the guy who made the super soldier serum,
Yeah,
was her golden goose, like her like her golden egg or however she referred to him as, like why would she lead them to him, which ended up him getting killed? Like why risk that? Like it was like, if you're the power broker, you've been making really bad decisions as this villain. So I'm like why would you be doing that? It made no sense. And then I guess that also extends to Carly and the other flag smashers, where I felt their story, they were trying to make them sympathetic in the beginning, but after a while it was just kind of hard to get behind her. And I feel like we really needed like an episode or like a scene, seeing how the GRC really affected them, or maybe seeing life like how it was before everybody came back from the blip, just to kind of like really get on her level, because she really got out of touch with it, by the end of the series. So I was like, they're kind of weak, but I guess in a way they really did serve their purpose to further Sam and Bucky's story, to give them something to do, to give him something to struggle with. So they were just basically a big plot point for the show.
Yeah, no, they definitely, the Flag Smashers are definitely unneeded. And then yeah, Sharon's storyline was just, it's so all over the place. It really made no sense how it's a complete 180 from her character. And then at the very end of it, when she did get her pardon, like Sam promised, and she was just like, we're gonna get stage secrets. Like, you guys better be ready. Like, the floodgates open with this. It's like, what the fuck, lady? Like, I don't know. It just, I guess it bothers me because I really loved her in like Winter Soldier and Civil War. That she was a good, agent. She was a patriot. She fought along Captain America, and then now it's like she's kind of fucking with them a little bit. So I didn't care for that. But yeah, I feel like the actress who played Carly was kind of didn't get her due in this. Like, she did a great job, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
they just didn't give her enough room to really flesh out that character and really get to see that. Like, yeah, like you said, I think a little more like scenes or like some more like backstory on how they were during the blip and stuff, and how they were really doing well in life, and how this all just kind of set them back. I think that would have given a little bit more of a foundation to work on. But
Yeah.
it was just like we kind of had to expect this, and it's like, we kind of, if this is gonna be the point of the show, you kind of need to dive into that a little bit more. So,
Yeah, exactly. So like, if they're going to be the central antagonist of the show, you really got to give them their due,
exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, let me see. I'm trying to think of anything else. And then also, as much as I love like Bucky's scene where he goes to see Yori, to finally confront him about his son, I just didn't feel anything for it. It's not as much as I should have, to be honest. Like, I was kind of hoping they would show like how it went down, like, because all they basically did was just like, oh, what are you doing here? And it's like, I need to talk to you about your son. And he was killed by the Winter Soldier. And it's like, we didn't really see an aftermath of that. Like, not that we have to see the whole thing, but it would have been nice to see Yori's reaction, just to see like, did he accept it? Did he tell him to like was he pissed off? I mean, I don't know. Given he probably should expect he was pissed off. Like, you killed my son, and now you've been hanging out with me to make yourself feel better. Like,
Yeah. I do think that scene needed to breathe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because of the way it played out. Like, we got in and out real quick. Like, once he starts confessing to him, I started getting like emotional, and then we ended it like right away, and I was like, oh, I kind of felt like cheated of that emotion. I was like, oh, you were getting me, and then now we're moving on to the next thing like so quickly.
Yeah. I think especially after like episode 4 and 5, where we saw a lot more emotion, like emotional depth with him. You think we would have seen that a little bit more in this one, but the whole point of this was to end on a happy note. And then Walker, his look, like, something about Walker, I just feel like he totally just abandoned America, even though he's not. Like, he's still a patriot. He's still going to fight for, I guess, the government in some form or another, because of Val's character, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, as Val Contessa, or I forgot her whole name. I can't think about it.
She has a really long name, so I just call her Val.
Val.
Even though she doesn't want us to call her Val, I'm going to call her Val.
Just keep it in your head. Don't like say it, think it, but don't say it. It's like, where's your problem, lady? I liked how they went with the whole black and red suit, just like the comics. He really is official U.S. agent. I was kind of hoping, this is me just being super nitpicky, that his helmet would have the whole like nose thing, kind of like Captain Marvel, because that's what he has in the comics. But the fact that he got the black and red suits, like, okay, he's definitely essentially a villain / anti-hero. Like, because that was another thing I kind of have a problem with. Like, they kind of try to redeem him with him saving the GRC members from like falling into the construction pit, because Carly tried to just get Grand Theft Auto them into the pit, which is what I've done plenty of times in that game. Just
oh my god, just drive off the cliff.
Kinda, because you just see a car fly. Anyways, how he just saved him, I was like, that doesn't redeem him for shit. I'm sorry. Like,
I don't think he's completely redeemed, but it is a step in the direction where I'm not thinking of him as a full-on villain. They've done a great job in the show to make me care about this guy and also be like, dude, you got issues.
Yeah, he definitely has mad issues, but and again, maybe we don't know if she's really Hydra. I know she's Madam Hydra in the comics, but maybe this time it's like there could be a resurgence of it, just not yet. We'll have to find out in the fourth
Yeah,
movie
I think we'll see.
or season two. But besides that, is there anything else like that kind of got you, or should we move on to the good stuff? Or should we move on to the happy ending of this?
No, dude, there's nothing else for me. That was really it for me that I had issues with, just Sharon and the Flag Smashers.
Sharon, basically the Marvel's Karen. That's really what she is. Just with Sharon. But other than that, I loved the action with it. The helicopter scene was fantastic.
Oh my god,
dude! Him with the shield is a totally different dynamic. Like Captain America with wings, essentially, is what we got, and it was a great element to it. Oh man, it was such a fun episode. Like the action was great. I did like the happy moments at the end. Like even though it was a little cheesy, like when Bucky's like, "Oh, where is everybody?" Like the only like white dude in the crowd. I was like,
"Oh yeah, he got invited to the cookout."
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of a cool moment. That's like, even though they said in the last episode, like we're not best friends, we're coworkers, but like they're
cool. you guys are friends.
Yeah, they're on that level. Like they were hanging out outside of work, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. We're not just coworkers; we're buddies now. Like I'm hanging out with your family.
And also, when Sam was fighting Carly, like technically he wasn't. He was just saying, "I'm not going to fight you," and she's just really trying to just take out her rage. Like this is her last moment, and it's not going how she planned, so she just doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, she wants that opposition to justify it to herself.
Exactly.
And he's not giving it to her, which I thought was great. He's like, he was at the whole time he's trying to de-escalate the situation. He's like, I'm not going to fight you. And she's just wailing on him, like, fight back. And I like that moment where like she punches him and he uses the
shields, wings
to like anchor himself back. I was like, oh, that was dope.
I thought that was really cool. I was kind of hoping she's like, you better stay down. He's like, no. I was like, oh, you should have said I could do this all day. I don't know. I know that's Steve's line, but as Captain America, that'd be pretty awesome to hear him say that. But that's fine. I was just kind of wishful thinking. I was like, what? This opportunity here. I'm trying to think what else. Other than that, great job by the actors overall this whole season. Wyatt Russell, Sebastian Stan, oh my god, I almost called him Sam Wilson. That's not his real name. Anthony Mackie, like those three really anchored this show down. Even Emily Van Camp, as much as I hate her, she did a fantastic job as Sharon, still a badass actress. And I don't remember the girl who played Carly Morgenthau. I keep forgetting her name off the top of my head, but
yeah, she's more like a new actress, but she did such a good job. Like in the role, I wish the role was written better, but her her actual acting did a good job.
Yeah. Also, I one thing that irked me, but I somewhat liked this as a bit of a win-loss thing, was the Flag Smashers getting off in a car bombing. Like, and it was just Zemo's evil butler just with the trigger, like,
yeah.
And Zemo's just in the raft, like listening to the radio, like, oh yeah, they died on their way to the raft in a car explosion. And he's like, I'm good. Like, I'm happy. He's thinking like, good job, Jeeves. I don't remember the butler's name, but it was just like, good job, man. I'm good now. I can enjoy my book.
Yeah, I did like that moment. Just you think they're gonna escape because one of the guards is locking him up is like one world, one people. Yeah. And I'm like, oh no, they're gonna get away, and then nope, boom, done. Like you guys you're done. That's it. Stop.
So much for superheroes.
Yeah,
it didn't do shit for them in the car bomb, but.
Another moment I did like was Sam's speech to the senators in the middle of after the whole thing went down, and he brought Carly's dead body, which that was a really cool shot where he's like flying down with her, and I just really liked his message. Basically a call to arms to them, like telling them that you have it within you and your power to do better, like for people, and just the fact how they try to write him off like, oh, now that these terrorists are dealt with, we can move on to other things. It's like, these labels, we use them to dehumanize people, but it always takes away from the question of why. Like, why are these people doing these things? Like, she was willing to die to stop you guys, and you never for 1 second stop to think, why is she doing that? Why is she willing to go this far?
Yeah, basically just why don't you think logically instead of just politically kind of thing. Like you guys got it.
Mhm.
We can't go back to normal. Like we have to move forward. So god damn it, I dropped my phone. I apologize. But besides that, I'm in a little indifferent on that scene. As much as I kind of like I thought it was a little too cheesy, but at the same time, that was a very like a in the moment kind of thing. Like, you know what? They're all here. Let's talk about this now. While Joey basically has their attention with the Captain America suit. So I thought that was really that was good. It didn't jack me up as much as I was hoping it would. But besides that, honestly, this was a great series overall. I can't wait to see Captain America 4, and I'm really hoping we get more seasons like to continue their story, or at least
Mhm.
Sam's story. So yeah. Anything else, Burn?
I mean, just a big shout out to the showrunner Malcolm Spellman, the director of the whole series, Kari Skoglund, and the composer for the series, Henry Jackman, who is coming back from after doing Winter Soldier and Civil War. I think they all did a really good job, with this show. It was a show that I've said countless times already that I wasn't excited for, and by the end of the series, I'm fully invested in Sam and Bucky's stories going forward, and they just all did such a great job on the show, and I hats off to Marvel. For me, they're 2 for 2 with their Disney Plus series.
Yeah, as much as this show like had some moments that not let me down, but they just weren't.
Just
They didn't get
uneven.
me. Yeah, just a very uneven. Yeah, these two shows are so great. I can't wait for Loki, Hawkeye, Armor Wars, Ironheart, anything Marvel related coming from Disney Plus. Like, I feel like if they keep putting the budget behind it, like a solid budget, they have the team behind a good team.
Mhm.
These are all going to be like Emmy winners essentially.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, like, they've already got some Emmys in the bag over on the Star Wars side with Mandalorian. So let's see if Marvel can start collecting the medals too.
Who are time to pay up. All right, my dude. But like I said, everybody, I hope you guys like this season. Let us know in the comments if you did, and keep an eye out or ear out, either way, whatever, maybe both, because we are audio and visual. Keep an eye out for that Mortal Kombat review coming up. I'm going to talk about how I liked it in theaters and at home. Burn, I don't know if you did you watch it at home as well or just in theaters?
I did. I did watch it after we saw it in the theater. I came home and watched it on TV.
Well, there we go. We're going to talk
Such
about
a cool
both.
thing to be able to do.
Exactly. So we'll talk about that soon, guys. Keep a head out for that. Definitely check it out too, whether at home or in the theaters.
Mhm.
But yeah, everybody keep staying bodacious, keep on ranting, and if you still haven't seen Falcon Winter Soldier, now's the time because the whole season's out for you to binge it if you want to.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Go binge it right now because this has really changed the status quo for the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward. So we got a new Captain America, folks.
They're setting the seeds for every phase after this, and it can only
Mm-hmm.
go up. So much more storytelling in the theaters that we're gonna be looking forward to. But all right,
Mm-hmm.
my dude, I'm gonna go grab some grub, and I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, man. I'll see you then. I'll see you another time. Everybody, be good, be safe. Tell us, about what you thought about the show, and just stay bodacious and keep on ranting.
Exactly. Peace out, my brother.
Peace.